Hello and welcome to episode 234 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, from 1944, directed by Howard Hawks, To Have and Have Not, starring Humphrey Bogart and based on a book by Ernest Hemingway. Apparently Howard Hawks kind of made a bet with Ernest Hemingway that he could make a good movie out of one of his worst books, and picked the book To Have and Have Not, but then pretty much changed most of it in making it into a movie. The first thing I thought when I saw this film was Casablanca. Feels very much like Casablanca. To Have and Have Not is set in Martinique, an island in the West Indies. It was occupied by France at the time, set in 1940 during the World War. And Humphrey Bogart plays a fisherman called, I think it's Harry Morgan, I believe it is. Morgan, definitely. It's been a few weeks since I saw the film. And he kind of takes people out on trips in his fishing boat and things like that, and tries to stay out of the politics that are going on the island at the time. There's a lot of kind of tension between the French colony and also the Germans and things like that. And an American woman comes into the picture, played by Lauren Bacall. Her character Marie, or Slim, she becomes acquainted with Harry Morgan, and the romance starts to kind of blossom. And it feels like Casablanca because it's a story set in a kind of exotic location where there's Americans, there's Europeans, there's people coming in, there's people going out. There's a kind of romanticism to the exotic location, I suppose, and also the people who are leaving and coming and going, and all the kind of political intrigue that's going on as well, with the very tense times of the 1940s that play along with that as well. And I really liked Bogart in the film. I liked his character a lot. I really liked his best friend Eddie, his shipmate, who's just an absolute drunk and just very unreliable, but Harry likes to keep him around anyway because he kind of has a soft spot for him. And Eddie was a really memorable and funny character. The film is really enjoyable. The script is very good. The dialogue is very snappy and witty. I thought Lauren Bacall made a great kind of, not sure if it was her complete debut in this film, but she was very young when she made it. And this is the famous film for those two real-life people getting together. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall became a couple, either on the set of this film or shortly afterwards. They got married the year after this film was made, and the sparks were flying within a few weeks of making the movie. And I think Howard Hawks said that Bogart kind of fell in love with the character Lauren Bacall was playing, Marie, or Slim, and that she ended up having to play that character for the rest of her life, or at least the rest of Bogart's life. They became a couple on this film. They got married the year afterwards, and they stayed together until his death, I believe, in the 60s. But anyway, the film itself, I feel like there's a lot of the enjoyability for this film. I'm really phrasing myself terribly, but what I really enjoy about the film, I should say, is just the kind of setting of it, the feeling, the atmosphere. Some of those sets and the way they kind of paint the picture of this island in the West Indies and stuff. And I don't know, there's an escapism to kind of wanting to have that kind of life or experience that kind of life where you're living day by day and you're in this island on the complete other side of the world. And a lot of the film is about how Marie wants to get back home to America, but she's completely wandering. She just hasn't really got any direction. She's going from place to place, doesn't have much money. And ultimately, the main crux of the film comes when a group of people approach Harry to say, we use your fishing boat to bring some people from this island over? And he's like, I'm not getting involved in any kind of stuff like that. But then he ends up losing money. He needs to make that money back, so he takes on the job, and that kind of is where more of the tension comes. There's a great kind of shootout in the middle of the film as well. It's just really well done, but mainly you're watching for the chemistry between these two characters, Harry and Marie, and their romance, their kind of the blossoming romance as it develops. They got great chemistry, which is obvious because they became a real life couple. Though I think there's still some really good films where a romance seems completely real and the actors do such a great job of making you believe that romance, but nothing ever happens in real life. But there is that added kind of element of believability, I guess, when you know that those two characters/actors really did have a spark with each other, and it ended up creating a relationship that lasted a very long time. So they went on to make a few more films together. I think The Big Sleep is one of them and is also in the book, so I'm kind of keen to get to that one too and to kind of talk about that. But I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really, really good. Is it a film you should see before you die? I don't think so. Casablanca's much better. It's a lot richer. There's a lot more deeper stuff going on in Casablanca. Not that you need that for a great film, but I feel like To Have and Have Not is cool for what it is. Has some great moments in terms of like memorable lines and the kind of the wittiness of the characters, and Eddie is another character I just really enjoyed in the film. This kind of bumbling, stuttering drunk who had this kind of recurring joke that got paid off at the end with Marie, and that was really, really fun. Again, really, really fun film, really enjoyable, just doesn't reach a level of greatness to me that would qualify being in the book. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, I think it is The Big Sleep, to see perhaps a better film that has the pairing, the iconic pairing of Bacall and Bogart, and I'm wondering if that's why the film is in the book, because it's notable for that, for them meeting each other for the first time, their first on-screen collaboration, the beginning of one of the great kind of Hollywood couples. That might be part of it. But again, it's not a bad film, it's not even an average one, it's a very good one, and I enjoyed it very, very much. I would watch it again, in fact. But just not quite reach the next level for me where I could say, yeah, that's a film you have to see, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. But yeah, really enjoyed it. To Have and Have Not, and Howard Hawks. I really love Howard Hawks films. I really, really do. They're just so entertaining, and this one's no different, but not quite the full movie you must see before you die for me. If you've seen the film, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.